I look at like the Magic. They let people wear my number. You could be upset with me, and I understand things didn't end the way that everybody wanted it to. But like, everything not gonna always end peaches and cream.
True.
Don't allow your emotions to take away what a player has meant to a team and a city. That number 12 for the Magic, they should not let nobody touch that. Nobody. It doesn't matter how mad you could be at me.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, back again. Marlo Knows Basketball and Marlo Knows Boxing. Back at y'all with another one. Congratulations to Shaquille O'Neal, man. Congratulations to Shaq, the big Shaq Diesel. Got his jersey retired by the Orlando Magic about a week ago. Very happy for him and well-deserved. Well-deserved. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot for that team, did a lot for that franchise to put them on the map for sure. Shaq and Penny's the reason why I even got into basketball, being a little 7-year-old in 1995. And these guys running roughshod over the whole league, at least until they got to the finals. But during the time, you know, I watched that whole regular season, and they did a great job, Penny and Shaq. And they did it with a lot of flair, and they were young, exciting, and I loved them, man. And that's what made me fall in love with the game of basketball. So much respect to Shaq, and much deserved him getting his jersey retired. But what's up with the Orlando Magic trying to act like they not going to retire Dwight Howard's jersey? What's up with that? Dwight Howard is clearly the best player ever to play in an Orlando Magic uniform. Dwight Howard is the best Orlando Magic of all time, not Shaq. As much as I love Shaq and as much as he was a part of my childhood, I got to keep it real, man. I got to keep it all the way real. Dwight Howard, as an Orlando Magic, we're not talking about what happened after they left the Magic. We're talking about while they were with the Orlando Magic, Dwight Howard was better than Shaq. He was better than Shaq, and it's not even close. I mean, let's look at the best season that both players had. The best season that Shaq had with the Orlando Magic was obviously 1995. He led the league in scoring and led the Magic to the NBA Finals. And the biggest accomplishment was not just making it to the Finals. It was who he beat to get to the Finals. He's the only player, the only star player during the Jordan era to actually say that he beat Michael Jordan. He beat Michael Jordan during the Jordan era in the 90s. He's the only player that could say that he beat Michael Jordan in the 90s, after 1991. Obviously, you know, the Bulls lost to the Pistons in 1990. But once 1991 came and Jordan started winning, it seemed like he was unbeatable until they played the Magic. Once Nick Anderson got that steal, Penny Hardaway picked it up, passed it to Horace Grant, dunk. We knew the series was gonna go different. This didn't look like no Michael Jordan series after that. But we got to keep it in context, though. Michael Jordan had just come back in the middle of March, played like only 17 games of the regular season. This was baseball Mike. This was number 45. This wasn't number 23. Now let's look at what Dwight Howard did in his best moment with the Magic. He beat arguably the second greatest player of all time, and LeBron James. In my opinion, LeBron James is the second greatest player of all times. They say that LeBron can guard all 5 positions. I mean, obviously, we see that that's not the case. He tried to guard Dwight Howard and got absolutely demolished. But he is, in my opinion, the second greatest player of all time. So, when it comes down to it, Shaq beat the greatest player of all time. Dwight beat the second greatest player of all time. But Dwight beat the second greatest player of all time without him having to come off the baseball field. This was LeBron after playing an entire season. There was no excuse. With Shaq and Jordan, of course, you know, Jordan came back at the end of the season, very end of the season, off the baseball field. He was a baseball player. Everybody thought that LeBron was going to go to the finals to meet Kobe. Nobody predicted that Dwight Howard was going to spoil that. And he dropped 40 in the closeout game. That was a bigger moment. That was a bigger moment than anything Shaq did with the Magic. And of course, you can look to what happened in the finals during those years. You know, Shaq obviously got demolished by Hakeem Olajuwon. And I remember being a 7-year-old and crying during this series after the Magic, while the Magic were getting swept and embarrassed. I felt embarrassed for them. And that's why I was crying. It was my favorite team. And I love Shaq. Shaq was my favorite player. But Hakeem Olajuwon proved that he was more skilled. He was more talented offensively and defensively. And just a better player. He just outclassed Shaq and embarrassed him. And it was a sweep. A sweep. Like the Magic, like, dang, at least win one game. Y'all got demolished. And Hakeem embarrassed Shaq. He embarrassed Shaq just like he embarrassed David Robinson that year in the Western Conference Finals. And David Robinson was the MVP. Shaq was a scoring champion. And this really, and this is why Hakeem is so high on my list. Hakeem is very, very high on my list because of this. Because he proved that it's not all about the flair and the flash and how big and strong you are. It's about how skilled you are. And Shaq did not have the skills to deal with Hakeem offensively or defensively. Shaq got destroyed. And we can also look at what happened to Dwight Howard in his NBA Finals against the Lakers. You know, both players made it to the finals. You know, Shaq got demolished by Hakeem, and Dwight Howard, he didn't really have much of a chance. Dwight Howard outplayed his matchup, which was Andrew Bynum. Even if you want to say Pau Gasol, because Pau Gasol also power forward, post player, he outplayed Pau Gasol, but it wasn't about that. It was about Kobe. It was about Kobe Bryant this series. And Kobe was not going to be denied. He was not going to be denied. He wanted to prove he could win without Shaq, and he was going to die. He was going to die for it. So there was no beating Kobe Bryant in this NBA Finals. So I give Dwight Howard more of a pass because this was somebody that this is not on him. This is on Michael Petrus. This is on Courtney Lee. This is on the perimeter defenders that are supposed to be guarding Kobe, and they couldn't stop him. They couldn't slow him down. They couldn't do anything to corral that. This is on Hedo Turkoglu, also a perimeter defender that Kobe ate up during this series. And that's not Dwight Howard's fault, man. He can only play the position that he plays. With Shaq, it was more his fault because he's directly matched up with the other team's best player. Dwight Howard was not. There was nothing Dwight Howard could do to stop Kobe. What do you expect him to go to the 3-point line and guard Kobe? What could he do? Shaq is guarding Hakeem, and Hakeem ate him up. Dwight Howard, the best player on the team that he faced in the finals, is a shooting guard. So there's nothing that he can do unless he's coming to the hole. So, I mean, I got to give Dwight a pass. Shaq doesn't get a pass. So that's another point for Dwight as far as who was better as a Magic. And then at the end of the day, when you go to the actual individual accolades, Shaq doesn't compare to what Dwight did with the Magic. What Shaq did with the Magic, it doesn't hold a candle to what Dwight did with the Magic. Shaq, of course, led the league in scoring once while he was with the Magic. So that's one scoring title. Shaq was All-NBA second team in 1995, was All-NBA third team in 1994 and 1996. And that's pretty much it. Interesting thing about that is Shaq was second team All-NBA in 1995 when they went to the finals. And Penny Hardaway was first team All-NBA. So the only first team All-NBA player that the Magic had in 1995 was Penny Hardaway, not Shaq. Shaq wasn't even first team All-NBA when they made to the finals, but Penny was. So Shaq had an All-NBA first team teammate. Dwight Howard didn't have an All-NBA teammate at all. He made it to the finals and didn't even have a single All-NBA teammate at all. Let's think about that for a second. That's another reason why Dwight Howard is a better Orlando Magic than Shaq. Dwight Howard did a lot more with less. And when he went to the finals, he didn't get swept. Shaq had a first-team All-NBA teammate when he himself wasn't even first-team All-NBA. But Penny was. Dwight Howard didn't have nothing like that. Imagine if Dwight Howard would have had a teammate as good as Penny. That's just something to think about. Now, let's look at what Dwight Howard was able to accomplish as far as individual accolades with the Orlando Magic. It blows Shaq out the water. Needless to say. Dwight Howard, of course, was first team All-NBA, something Shaq couldn't do. He was first team All-NBA with the Magic in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, and 2012. That's 4 times he was first team All-NBA, and Shaq couldn't do it once. And of course, Shaq was not able to make any All-NBA defense teams while he was with the Magic. Dwight Howard, on the other hand, made All-NBA defense first team in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. So that's 4 times Dwight Howard was also first team All-NBA defense when Shaq couldn't even make an All-NBA defense team once during his time with the Magic, not even second team. Dwight Howard was also Defensive Player of the Year, meaning you're the best defensive player in the league, 3 times with the Orlando Magic. Of course, Shaq couldn't even make an All-NBA defensive team, while Dwight Howard is Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. And then we can also look at the fact that Dwight Howard led the league in rebounds in 2008, 2009, and 2010. 3 times led the league in rebounds as an Orlando Magic. Shaq never even came close to doing that. And Dwight Howard led the league in blocks in 2009 and 2010. 2 times leading the league in blocks. Shaq obviously never came close to doing that either. So there's really no argument here. Even though Shaq retired first, I honestly feel like the Magic should have retired Dwight Howard's jersey first, because Dwight Howard was the best player on the Magic to ever put on a Magic uniform by far. But yet they keep letting players wear the number 12. I don't understand it. A lot of people hate on Dwight Howard. Some of y'all might not agree. I know one person that definitely wouldn't agree, and he's a hater. His name is Shaquille O'Neal. So yes, definitely Shaq would definitely disagree that Dwight Howard is the best Orlando Magic ever, but the facts show otherwise. So Shaq, you can go ahead and keep on hating.
I said before, you will get devoured, but don't you ever call me Dwight Howard.